What's going on, everyone? It's a nice day today. Me and my nephew are out just riding around. We just left filling up, getting some gas, and we are planning to head up to the canyon, the one that we've ridden before. You guys have seen it before in my videos. This will be the first time for the year. Haven't been riding much, trying to get back into it now that my schedule is a little bit more clearer. But my nephew still got his Indian Scout Rogue motorcycle. He hasn't put a lot of time on that bike either, because we've been so busy working and just doing other things with family and other projects and stuff. But we decided that today, this Sunday before Memorial Day, would be a good day to go hit the curves in the canyon, maybe right up to Ellensburg and get some lunch or do something fun, since neither one of us have taken a little mini road trip on our bikes yet this year. So it's a well-deserved break from everything else. But today I am on my ADV 150, my old reliable, the bike I probably love the most out of all of mine, maybe even more than my monkey. This bike is just basically perfect for everything. I was going to take my Versys X300. I hopped on it and I rode over to my nephew's storage unit where he keeps his bike, and when I got there he was filling up his tires, putting some air in them. I figured, well, I better check and see if mine need air. And they were about, well, I don't know, 15-20 pounds low. I mean, they almost wouldn't even register on the tire pressure gauge. So I started filling them up, putting air in them. And I noticed on my front tire that there was a screw poking out of it. I'm thinking, oh my god. 2 times that I've owned Kawasaki's that I've gotten punctures from screws. Actually, the first one wasn't a screw. It was like a pie-shaped piece of metal or something that wedged in my back tire of my Ninja 300. But so I found a screw in my tire, so I put air in it. It seemed like it was holding it. We dumped water on it and it wasn't really leaking any air. And you know, it probably would have been fine to ride it, but I don't want to, you know, take it out of town with the chance of it getting a flat, especially on the front. That would be, you know, that's nightmare fuel right there, getting a flat front tire when you're riding. Like I was saying, instead of risking getting a flat on the front of my Versys, I decided I was just going to take the ADV 150. He's up there signaling at me, turn off your turn signal, dumbass. I'm paying attention to try to vlog here and tell you guys what's going on. Yeah, so I decided to just leave the Versys X at the house, and I'm going to ride it around town a little bit and see if it gets loses any pressure. If not, then I'm just going to call it good. The screw that was in the tire was kind of at an angle, and it wasn't very long. It was probably only about 3/8 of an inch, and it was kind of at an angle on the side of the tire, so it wasn't directly into it. And when I pulled it out with some pliers, it didn't seem to, you know, lose any air. It wasn't in there very far, but I just don't want to, you know, I'll risk it when I'm riding around by my house and not out here on the road, because I'm trying to play it safe, you know, be responsible rider. If I got another bike that I could take instead of one that might get a flat tire, then of course. I thought about bringing my my Trail 125, but it's not broken in yet, and so far the top speed of that thing is like 50. So since my nephew is on a big V-twin Indian motorcycle, I figured I better at least bring something that can at least do the speed limit with him, which my ADV 150 can easily do. So anyways, we're gonna cruise through town, and we'll get to the canyon, and I guess I'll probably just talk about random things, you know, whatever I got on my mind as we're riding through the canyon. So I'll be right back. So we're just riding through Sela here, and I thought I'd mention real quick, on my wife's channel coming up pretty soon, we did a paranormal investigation for a local business here in Sela. It's called the Sela Mining Company, and I'm currently working on editing that video. It's going to be pretty cool. Put a lot of work into that video, but the name is Sela Mining Company. It's a restaurant. It's right over here. So if you guys are interested in that, keep an eye out on my wife's channel. That's the Afterlife Collective. So here we are entering the Yakima Canyon, and fun fact, I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard the story of Mel's Hole. And it was if you guys are old enough to remember Art Bell Coast to Coast AM, this old show that used to be on AM radio, whatever town you're in, whatever station it might have been on, but it was on for years and years and years, and it might still be on, but I don't recall the last time I ever even listened to radio. But there was this guy named Art Bell, and he hosted this show called Coast to Coast, And he always had a lot of interesting people calling in and talking about a lot of interesting topics and things. You know, like UFOs and Bigfoot and paranormal stuff and all this other things. It was a fun show to listen to. So anyways, there was this guy that called in one time. His name was Mel, and he was supposedly calling from Ellensburg, Washington, which is just north of here, about 30 miles. And the guy told a story about on his property there was this big giant hole that was basically bottomless. And he told Art Bell that he could throw all kinds of stuff in there and it would never come back. You'd never hear it hit the bottom. And it was just like this big giant hole. There's no bottom to it. But he told the story about, you know, dropping fishing line down in there to see how deep it was. He could never find the bottom of it, so he used to drop all kinds of other stuff in there. And at one point in time, I don't remember whether they did it at this hole or was that another one that they found in Arizona or something on an Indian reservation. But he said that they had dropped a goat, or maybe it was a dog, or anyways, something. They dropped it down in this hole and it was dead or something, but anyways, it had come back. And it had been seen, you know, kind of resurrected after they pitched it in this hole, and it was all demonic and crap. I do remember that there was one guy that said that he threw his dead dog in there and then saw him, you know, not too long after that, you know, up and wandering around in a pasture or something like that. But it's a really fun and interesting story. But anyways, Mel's hole is supposedly somewhere between here and Ellensburg, on this, what's called Menashtash Ridge, which if you're looking over here, you're looking at the hillside right over there. It's the ridge kind of on the other side of that one. But I've always thought about kind of hopping on one of my bikes and driving around in the forest up there and seeing if I could find it. I think it'd be kind of fun. It's always beautiful in the Yakima Canyon this time of year because everything's still kind of green right before everything turns to ugly brown weeds and dies and blows away. Up to my right here, see that wall? This used to be part of the old road, and there's a tunnel back behind there. You can't get to it anymore because, you know, stupid government blocked it off. But long time ago, this old part of the road, back when it was, gosh, I don't know, probably when they first paved this road, that was part of the original road going through the canyon here. And, you know, as time went on, they kind of, you know, paved it over and made it bigger and wider and nicer and stuff, and, you know, raised the speed limit. I don't even know what the speed limit is going through here, probably 45 maybe, but could be 35. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to it, but some of these mountains in this area are really cool to look at, because if you know the history of the geology of this area, this was all like volcanic area and stuff, and you can even see a lot of the stones that are in the sediment around here are from a flood that happened in this area a long time ago. The theory is that there used to be this big giant lake either in Idaho or Montana, or one of the two, that burst, and somehow it kind of, the water washed down through over by Spokane and came down through this valley, the Yakima Valley area, and just kind of brought all this sediment and rocks and volcanic stone and everything else with it, and just buried this whole place. Which is why when you look at it from the sky at a map, it looks like it's, you know, evidence of a big giant flood. It's kind of like when you look at the Richat structure over in Africa. It's called the Eye of the Sahara. When you look at that place and you zoom out on a map, you can tell that at one point in time it looked like somebody just took a big giant bucket of water and washed it all over the sand, and it's got ripples in it, and it's obvious water, you know, damage and flood damage from a long time ago. And it's just one of those things that we'll probably never have the answer to, but it's, to me, it's very interesting stuff. You know, I like learning about all, like, alternate history and things that could have been, things might have happened that, you know, that's different from the way that we see things and what we read in books right now. To me, it's a fun topic, fun subject to think about. And I think before I move away from this area in the next few years, I'd like to do a little bit more exploring and go check out some of these, like the Badlands area over here in eastern Washington, and go find some other cool looking stuff to check out before I move away from here. But it's always fun cruising through the canyon, just kind of staring at the rocks and looking at things, and just taking your time and looking around and just being in awe, you know. It's just the beauty of nature. It's really cool. And I know the camera doesn't quite, you know, show it as much, but when you're cruising this road through this canyon, you feel so tiny, you know, because you look at those mountains over there, and every once in a while you can see mountain goats on them and sheep and stuff, but when you do see them, they're just these little dots, you know, on the side of the hill up there and things. And every once in a while you see a person walking around up there, and that's a heck of a walk from anywhere. I don't think I'd be in quite good enough shape to walk to the top of that mountain. I've tried to, long time ago. I went out target shooting by myself one day, and I was on the other side of this hill over there, you know, shooting at gophers and crap, and I said, well, I'm gonna walk up this hill. And I got about 45 minutes to an hour into my hike, and I gave up, and I was nowhere near the top. I was like, this is, yeah, way more than I bargained for. So anyways, this is a really fun, cool place to go. One of the nice things about living in this area, just having this road literally like just a couple miles away from where we live. It's nice. I don't know what he's doing. He's like probably screwing with his camera, can't get it to work or something. Or maybe he's talking about his bike. Maybe he's vlogging. Yeah, that's probably what he's doing. I should ride up next to him and flip him off. Oh, cool. Somebody's out there jet skis on the river. Yep, he must be making a video. He must be making a video. You know, I have to say that I am really impressed with this little ADV 150 ever since I've gotten enough break-in miles on it and the motor's loosening up a little bit. This thing has power all the way up to and past 50 miles an hour. I need to do like a top speed run or something, but I mean, we're doing 38 miles an hour, and if I, you know, pull the throttle back and stuff, it's climbing really good. I mean, it gets up there and goes. It's, you know, up to 50 miles an hour. She's still pulling. I mean, that was basically what I had hoped for with this bike. And it's really surprising after this thing loosened up a little bit. So if any of you out there might be watching this video with a brand new ADV 150 or an ADV 160 and you're thinking it's kind of slow, just give it time. It'll break in. See how many miles I got. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh. Okay, temperature, now I need to go. I have a total of 1,279 miles on this bike. Not a lot, but considering the amount that I ride and the amount that's on this bike, it's the majority of the miles that I ride. I don't know, 1,279 miles is not a lot compared to how long that I've owned this, but just remember, I'm one of those weekend rider guys. You know, I don't commute on motorcycles and stuff. I only go out like in the mornings on the weekends and stuff, and just mainly it's around town and out to places like this. So this has done the majority of the miles. My Versus X 300, that's only got like 800 miles on it. My Monkey, what has my Monkey got? I know it's probably about as much as this one, if not more, because I do ride that one quite a bit. But now I got my Trail 125, which is going to divide up, you know, get some of the miles too. And I'm really excited about riding that bike because it's so far has really impressed me really well, you know, with for what it is. I guess we got somebody that's impatient. They're not here to cruise. They're going somewhere. We better get out of their way. Yeah, it's perfect temperature right now. It's 82 degrees and cruising down the highway in the canyon, 45 miles an hour with the jacket unzipped, and it feels great. It's like air conditioning. Oh, dude got a fish. Yay, fist bump. Oh, little kid caught one. Proud papa. There's proud mommy over there. I love seeing that kind of stuff like that. Happy little families and things. Mostly because I'm kind of jealous, because me and my family never got to go doing stuff like that. My kids weren't really, you know, interested in that kind of thing, but, you know, I wasn't either, so. Yeah, if you look up there, straight ahead of us, you can see how all the mountain, like the underlayment and everything's kind of at an angle like this because of all the heaving and the earthquakes and the shifting of the you know, the stone and the earth and everything that formed this canyon. It's really pretty cool looking. 44 twisted grip. You know, it's got decent power. I love this bike. I thought that sign back there said public fisting. It says public fishing. That just, you know, tells you where my mind is at most of the time. Oh boy, I'm going to hell. Yep. So this is a pretty cool landmarker here. Talking about the floods in the area. That big old rock up there was carried from miles and miles north of here and brought down. There's big boulders like that kind of scattered all over the place, and somehow the geologist knows that thing, they know that thing didn't start here. Anyways, one of the plaques here is missing because some jackwagon stole it many years ago and they just never replaced it. Then you got this little thing here. It's pretty cool, describing how the geology around here was formed. And then the river cut a swath through it, but that might be wrong. You never know. They may find evidence of other reasons why this place is shaped like this. And you know, it's really cool if you look at a map up above this canyon, just the way the things are formed. And I don't know if you can see it, but way over there, I'm going to say probably about I don't know, 50 feet up from where the train is parked over there, there's like this white line that goes through the whole entire part of the mountain. And it's like, I don't know what that is. I wonder if like there's like a layer of salt or something from an old seabed that was here. I don't know. It's pretty cool though. Really like this area. Makes you feel tiny. Real tiny. What is this? Oh, look at that. What's that say? Washington State Highway Department Survey Monument. That's really cool. Some kind of marker. Look, you can see if somebody's been grinding on it with a grinder, trying to either take it off or take the letters off it or something. But why do people have to be jerks? Go somewhere nice and there's vandalism and things missing and broken and stuff. People can't just keep their hands to themselves. I think this rock up here, at one point, August was just telling me that him and his brother came through here not too long ago and that stone was missing, like somebody pushed it off the backside of it and then they came back and put it back up there. Can't wait to do some more traveling. I'm going to retire soon. I want to retire by the time I'm 55. Screw this working until I'm dead thing. Figure out a way to do this. Y'all need to like subscribe. You know, I share my videos with everybody. Get more subscribers over here and more people watching my crap so I can just live off of YouTube money. Travel all around making cool videos for you guys. What do you say? Hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. So this area over here is pretty cool. There's like a tackle shop down there, a little restaurant. A couple of yuppies living on the side of the hill with their own little orchards, growing grapes or some crap. But one of these days I've been meaning to take my wife into this little restaurant over here. I think it'd be pretty cool. We'd enjoy it. There's some really nice houses over there. Wonder who you got to know to own one of those. Maybe there's some vacation rentals or something, but yeah, pretty neat. Seems as the years go by, they keep building more and more cool little things here in this canyon, and I can understand why. I mean, they should be capitalizing on, you know, this the attraction of this place. They should make it more accessible for, you know, boaters and rafters and things to come down here on the river. Of course, maybe it is. I don't know. I've never, in all the years that I lived here when I was a kid, I never actually floated the river. Not that I can remember, unless I was too young to remember doing it. Might have got drug out there by an aunt or a cousin or somebody, but who knows? I don't know. I'm not too much of a big, you know, a water guy. I'm going to enjoy, you know, being on the water in a boat when I have had the chance, but, and I know how to swim. I'm just not too big on it. I always have that that fear of deep water. I'm fine going in water that, you know, I can touch the bottom on, but once I get past that, it's like I have no confidence in my ability to stay afloat for enough time to not die. And I've still never seen the ocean. Brother! I know. You gotta show us up, don't you? Typical Harley guy. He must be one of those dudes with such a big ego, it can't stand having other motorcycle riders in front of him unless he knows them. Oh, there's bikes in front of me. I better pass them to show him I got the bigger wiener. Yeah. Go ahead, bud. Go ahead. It's funny because I enjoy riding motorcycles, but there's a lot of motorcycle riders that I just don't see eye to eye with, you know. And quite frankly, I have an honest dislike for some of them. You know who you are, a certain group of them. But I get it, you know, they're doing their thing, whatever, out here cosplaying like a tough guy. Whatever, do your thing. You know what, one thing that bugged me about owning a Harley Davidson when I did own mine is if you were to like go out riding and somebody on another Harley saw you riding and they like stop next to you at a light or stop next to you when you're, you know, getting gas or something like that, they always thought it was like important for them to talk about Harley Davidsons and, you know, ask you to go for a ride with them and stuff, and how long you've been riding, and, you know, what year is this or whatever. You're always talking about bikes and shit, and I'm such an introvert. Like when people would come up to me when I was riding my Harley and start talking motorcycles and stuff, I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever, I'm not here to talk to you, I'm just going for a ride. Or what's even worse is you'd be walking around somewhere and you weren't like a Harley Davidson shirt, because I have a couple. I got a hoodie. Well, I don't have any Harley shirts. I got a hoodie and a jacket. But 9 times out of 10, when I'd be wearing a Harley Davidson hoodie, some guy who's obviously looked like a biker would come up to me and start talking about Harleys and crap and you know, going riding and all this other stuff. And I guess it's kind of neat that when you're, you know, a Harley owner, you have the opportunity to be part of a big group of friends, and they invite you in to be in their circle and stuff like that, because you have that one thing in common, you know, that riding a Harley Davidson, you know, it creates kind of like a bond among motorcycle riders. But, you know, to me, it's like I didn't really have a want or a need to be part of any of that scene. I just wanted a Harley, and I enjoyed it while I had it, but it's gone now. In case none of you knew that, my Harley Davidson is gone. Sold it. When did I sell that thing? A couple of years ago. Yeah. I bought a Harley Davidson, experienced the Harley ownership, and was done with it. I move on. Don't have anything against the Harley Davidson motorcycles. I've owned many bikes, and I've owned many cars. I've owned probably 60 or 70 vehicles. You know, I like having different transportation options and things, and I'll buy something and I'll use it and I'll enjoy it for a while, and then I'll get rid of it and get something else. It's just how it is. I'm not attached to anything, except I'm kind of attached to the scooter, because it kind of matches my personality, to be honest with you. I like it, and I know I'd definitely miss it if I ever got rid of it, or had to get rid of it, shall I say, because I won't get rid of it unless I absolutely have to. Let's just avoid doing that. I have to keep looking in the mirror to make sure there's no bugs on my camera lens. I have PTSD from that one time I rode all the way up there to take a photo of a tree and did not know it at the time, but when I'm recording, I had a stupid bug on my lens. That's because I hopped on the highway, which I never do, to get to where I was going, and somewhere along the lines I got a bug splatter. Oh, that made me mad. I don't know, maybe you guys out there that record your own videos, do moto vlogging and stuff, can understand that when you're out riding and something goes wrong, you make a video and something happens, and you get home and you look at the footage and it's either all screwed up or your audio is bad or something like that. Man, it's such a bummer. I hate it when that happens. So yeah, I'd almost ruined that video, and I almost threw it in the trash, but I made it anyways. It just bugged me that the whole entire thing has a stupid bug splatter in the middle of my lens. Oh well. Life's lessons, right? So I'm using, and I haven't done a video about it yet, I'm using here recently for the last couple of few videos the DJI Osmo Action 4. And I have stepped up from the DJI Osmo Action 1, which is still a really good camera, but I wanted something with a wider field of view. I had the DJI Osmo Action 2, which is a terrible little camera. The only thing it's got going for it is just its size and portability. The DJI Osmo Action 3, I skipped it completely because it had focusing issues and picture quality issues. So when the DJI Osmo Action 4 came out, I waited a while until the price dropped on it. So when I got this one, I only paid 200 bucks for it. I think it was 229. I got it on sale, and it came with it was the action adventure combo. So it had the camera and 3 batteries, which is a really good deal. I should have bought 2 of them at the time, but anyways, I've been using this DJI Osmo Action 4 now for a few of my videos, and I never made a video about it. Probably because by the time I got back around to making videos again, the DJI Osmo Action 5 was already out. And you know, wow, somebody must have ate. Man, somebody come around that corner and wiped out hard. They're okay. So anyways, the DJI Osmo Action 5 has already been out. So, you know, what good does it do to do a review on a somewhat outdated camera? However, what I do like about this one compared to the 5 is it has much better picture quality, in from what I can see anyways. With me color grading and stuff, and it looks like the DJI Osmo Action 5 just way too oversaturated and too sharpened, and you know, I'm sure you could do all that stuff and fix that in post and things, but what I like to do with my DJI cameras and when I'm filming, doing other videos, I'll either use a picture profile like Sony with their cameras, their newer ones, they have this picture profile called S-Cinetone, and it's already color graded, but it's still got leeway to mess around with it a little bit, and it's gorgeous footage you can get out of those cameras. But the DJI cameras, like my Osmo Action 1, I would just record in a flat color profile and then, you know, tweak it a little bit and make it look nice. The reason why I do that is because if you just leave it on regular standard picture profile, like what's baked into the camera and stuff, you always lose a lot of detail in the shadows, the contrast is too much, and then, you know, the colors are just way too saturated and things. So I like to record in flat color profile and just make it look like how I like to look, which is, you know, just normal. You know, I want my footage to look normal, not overly brightened or saturated like an action camera would usually look. But so far I'm really liking this thing. I'm using the DJI wireless microphone 2 inside my helmet, which is really nice because I don't have to run any cables or anything. But I'm still kind of paranoid about it because when it's hooked up to the camera and I stop recording, when I start recording again, I always got to kind of glance in the mirror and make sure that my audio bar is bouncing, is picking up audio from it. But so I don't completely trust it now. Not yet anyways, maybe I will in the future. But that was the nice thing about the DJI Osmo Action 1 with my microphone plugged into it. It was a really easy, simple setup, and you just basically, you hit record, you say what you're going to say, you hit stop, and then if you don't do anything for like 5 minutes, the camera turns off. But then you can just hit the record button again and start recording, and your audios are jacked into it, so you don't have to worry about that. And I was just getting nice, consistent, reliable results out of that camera for the years and years that I did use it. And I'll probably still use it in the future every once in a while, but I really do like the wide field of view that the Action 4 has, because it gives you guys a better view of things. You know, you can see more of the bike in my arms and things like that, whereas like the other one, you just basically kind of saw the windshield. So it's nice to let you guys have a little bit better view. Like if I lean back like this, like a cholo, hey, you know, you can see all kinds of cool stuff. But yeah, anyways, we're coming into the town of Ellensburg. This is just one of those videos I decided to make, just kind of a ride through the canyon, a vlog, you know, talk and do whatever is on my mind and things. But I want to thank you guys for swinging by and checking it out. We're probably just going to get up here and have some food, turn around and head back home. So thanks for stopping by, checking out the video. I will see you guys on the next one, which probably won't be too long from now because I'm in it. See you later. This is pretty cool over here. These old buildings have existed since long time ago, because when this was like part of the main route to from Yakima to Ellensburg, They would stop here. There'd be all kinds of, like, you know, hustling and bustling and business going on here with cattle and, you know, livestock and everything else, and feed and all kinds of stuff going on through here. This used to be an old gas station. Kind of looks like one. Man, it would have been great to see this thing back in the day when it was, you know, in business and things like that. I wonder what it was called. The building's so crumbling and falling apart, you can't tell at all what this used to be. But man, I love old buildings like this. They're just so fun to look at and kind of imagine what they used to be. You know, when there used to be people in and out of here all the time, maybe back in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s and 60s. Just imagine like seeing all the really cool old cars coming through here, you know, and stopping to get gas and stuff. And, you know, they'd pull up and they'd run across that cable they used to have laying across there and go ding, ding. And the boy would come running out, you know, and wash their windshield and check their tire pressures and their oil and everything, put gas in the car. Man, what a time it would have been to be alive back then, to see that kind of stuff. I guess my nephew can't read. Yeah, but how cool is this? Yeah, so cool. What is it like? It's like there's like a house attached to the back of it. Yeah, really cool. It's been a fun day. It's almost noon now. Gorgeous scenery out here. Anyways, everybody, thanks for stopping by the channel, watching the video. We'll see you on the next one. Are we even still recording? I think so. Anyways, we'll see you on the next video. We're gonna go get some lunch, probably, and then head back home. Days like this, I just want to keep going, keep riding. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you later.